After 2 years of early access and more than 10 years of development, Mount & Blade II Bannerlord has finally been fully released and is now available on PC, PlayStation and Xbox. And with so much new blood in the game, I thought this is a great time to make a beginner guide. Let me start by telling you that Bannerlord is a pretty easy game, even on the highest difficulty. There's absolutely zero need to min-max your builds and be super efficient with your economy, party management or troop micro. So rather than teaching you how to cheese the game, I compiled 10 general gameplay tips that either aren't immediately obvious or the game doesn't tell you. General things I wished I knew in my first playthrough. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. The first tip on this list is simple and straightforward, and that is, keep different types of food in your inventory. One skill that is needed in every Bannerlord playthrough is Steward. Each level in Steward increases your maximum party size, and who doesn't want a big and strong party? To level up this skill, you need to be assigned as the quartermaster of your party, and very importantly, having different types of food in your inventory. The more variety, the faster it will level up. Now, at the very beginning of your playthrough, you won't have the means to buy every type of food in the game, but once you have some disposable income, definitely focus on having good food variety. There are many unit micro options in Bannerlord. Some of them are very useful, like the skein formation or the advance command. But the most important one I have for you is that you should make sure that your archers have enough space to fire their arrows. As you can see here, if you keep them in the default line formation, the backline will often not fire and you lose out on DPS big time. Putting them in loose formation solves the issue for the most part. Also make sure to not put infantry directly in front of your archers, as this will also prevent them from taking their shots. As I have already said before, there is no need to min-max your troop composition in Bannerlord, and you could conquer Calradia with a peasant army. But for those of you who want smooth sailing, here are some troop recommendations. For infantry, I recommend Legionaries. They are super tanky with their high armor and shield and make for a great frontline unit. The best archers in the game are the Fian champions. Make a Fian army if you want to play the game in easy mode. The best cavalry units are Cataphracts and Banner Knights. And lastly, the best horse archers in the game are Khan's Guard, also known as the Circle of Death. Movement speed is extremely important in Bannerlord. And I'm not talking about the third-person running speed, even though that one is really important too. I'm referring to the speed of your party on the world map. Being successful in Bannerlord is 100% about taking the fights you want and avoiding the fights you don't want. So to catch your enemies or run away from them, it is worth knowing a few variables that impact your movement speed on the world map. Firstly, you can check your party speed by hovering over the horse icon after expanding the UI on the bottom right corner of your screen. It is important to have the right amount of horses. Too many and you will get a hurt penalty. Too little and you will lose out on movement speed too. Having prisoners in your party or carrying too much stuff also slows you down quite a lot. The disoriented debuff gives you a huge movement speed penalty after every battle for a short amount of time. So watch out what parties are around before you take a fight. Lastly, game difficulty, character perks and culture buffs can also impact your party speed. The next tip is related to castle and city sieges, and something that was an absolute game changer for me that I only discovered in my third playthrough. As soon as you are in an offensive siege and have set up your siege camp, you get the ability to build siege weapons. The thing is, however, you can only build one weapon at a time, and as soon as one weapon is finished, the defenders will destroy it immediately, before it can do any damage. So what you can do here is to immediately pause the game after the first one is finished, right-click on it and put it into reserve. Then you repeat that process and put as many siege weapons into reserve as you want. Finally, you put out 4 at the same time and let them go ham on the defenses. Going into a siege without destroying the defender's siege weapons first is pretty rough, and it is mind-blowing to me that this feature is not better highlighted within the UI. Bannerlord has an in-game encyclopedia that has lots of essential information. By default, it can be accessed via the N key. A very useful filter is to sort by Wanderers, which will show you a list of all available companions in the game. Companions can fulfill various roles. You can use them as party leaders, caravan leaders, army leaders, governors for your thieves, or assign them a role in your main party. If you click on a name, you can see their skills, traits, and location, and choose according to your needs. If you have death enabled, there is a small chance that companions will die permanently if they fall on the battlefield. You can put them in a separate group and retreat them to safety at the start of a battle if you are heavily attached to them. I personally never do that, and don't deny them their right to fight for their place in Valhalla. The next tip is to keep an eye on your garrison expenses. Besides getting a good governor, there is also the possibility to limit your garrison wages manually. The option is for some reason not in the Thief Management tab, but in the Clan tab under Parties. By default, there is no set limit to garrison wages, which can get expensive really fast. However, cities that are safe in the middle of your empire might not need a big elite tier garrison, so the option to limit their size and quality can come in quite handy. Fighting real-time battles in third person is one of Bannerlord's main appeals. Dealing with the same group of looters 20 times in a row, however, can get boring quickly. The good news is that Bannerlord has an auto-resolve option that lets you simulate battles. The bad news? The outcome will be significantly worse than fighting the battle by yourself. At least until you have leveled up your tactic skills, which has some perks that can make auto-resolve viable. The problem is that you need to auto-resolve to get better at auto-resolving. So I would refrain from using auto-resolve altogether if you don't want to lose precious elite troops every time you're up against a bunch of looters. Bannerlord has an inbuilt cheat engine that can be great if you want to play around and test out stuff. Basically all you need to do to activate it is to hit the Alt plus tilde key on your keyboard and type config.cheatmode1. Once activated, you have access to all troops and items in the game for free. This is great if you want to try out different units or just inspect what certain armor pieces look like when you equip them on your character. There is lots of additional stuff you can do with this cheat engine, like giving yourself gold, leveling up skills, increasing influence or renown, creating companions, war declarations, and much more. I will leave a link in the video description below with some commands that you can experiment with. The Mount & Blade series has always been big on modding. And even though Tailworlds broke existing mods with almost every single update during early access, the Bannerlord modding community is still going strong. With the Steam release, Bannerlord finally got Steam Workshop support, which means that you can install mods with just one click and don't need to copy around folders or deal with third-party software anymore. It will take some time, however, until mods are migrated over and up to date with the game's current version. At the time of making this video, most of the Total Conversion mods are still in development, but there are some great mods available that can improve the vanilla experience by a lot, like Diplomacy, improved Garrison, or realistic battle AI. Anyway guys, I hope this was helpful. Definitely let me know in the comments how your first Bannerlord playthrough is going. If you enjoyed watching, then please leave a like and make sure to subscribe for future medieval slasher content. As always, thank you all for watching and see you soon.